own their own lorries. Very, very famous American mark, that white. Lovely to see it again. Thank you. It was bought by Volvo actually, and then they finished it. They shut it down. Right, here we've got a Rolls Royce. I was ridiculed yesterday for calling it a roller. This is a Rolls Royce 20 horsepower saloon from 1927. Graham Neal owns this one from Droitwich. Delightful little Singer Roadster here. Singer got away with making a car very similar to that right up till about 1954. I think was about the last of them. This vehicle was bought 12 months ago. I was told by the previous owner that the vehicle spent most of its life in Australia. Owned by Glyn Salathno, I hope I pronounced that correct, from Ebervale. Singer 9 Roadster from 1949. Austin, Cambridge, with grandchildren. Nice to see. It's owned 9 years and retrieved from a scrap dealer. Most of the mechanics rebuilt by the gentleman. Nice to see that it's not over restored as well. I like them like that. Austin 10, Cambridge, 1937, Tony Wobby. Righto, Morris Minor Series 2 4-door. This car's been up near us, parked up near us. Donna Hughes owns this one, I guess in the driver's seat. Hello Donna. And she's from Ledbury near Herefordshire, in Herefordshire. You can always tell when I'm reading something. I don't do it very well. Obviously undergoing a restoration, that car I've got. Now we got the delightful little Barclay. I tried to buy it yesterday and my offer still stands. This is a B105 Sports from 1960, quite late for Barclay. They finished in the late 60s. This is owned by Graham Higgs from Worcester, and that is powered by quite correctly, by a 700cc Royal Enfield engine. Now here's a lady I know from other shows, but she usually has a Land Rover with her. Nice to see this. I like these little Austin 7 sports cars. Two-seater from 1936. Do you know, I never did know you now. I knew you were Sally. It's owned by Sally Cook from Starport. Thank you, Sally. Right, now here we've got a little gem in sort of sheep's clothing, really. This is a Princess Van der Pla 1100. Well, it's not 1300, I lied, from 1970. But those cars went to Park Royal. They went to Van der Pla Park Royal, and they had leather put in them, and a lot of them were automatic, and they had the drop-down picnic seats, and everything that the big princesses had, they put in the little 1300s, and make a very nice car of them. Right, now we've got a Jensen A40, Austin A40 Sports. And when I say Jensen, I mean it. The bodywork was done by Jensen up there at Hales Owen. And powered by a 1200cc twin carb version of the little A40 engine. This one is from 1952, and it's owned by Alistair Weil, who's owned this car quite a while. This is a Morris 12-4 Series 3 saloon from 1938. Delightfully not over-restored again. And this is owned by Mr. T. Richards from Hereford. Oh, look at these little gems. Yeah. Hey up. Right, we've been gazumped in actual fact, because the first one was going to be the Peugeot single, and then we had can't pronounce it, Messrs. Charon, Girardot and Voigt. It's a CGB, there we go, I can't pronounce that. CGB, Side Entrance Phaeton from 1904, thanks for that. And it's owned by Mr. Michael Shepherd from Cheltenham. And that one. And that is the 1905 little single cylinder Peugeot there as well. 1905. Still going strong. Then we got a bull-nosed cowley that drove 75 miles, this car, to get here today. On the M5. Well done to you, Chief. That is brilliant. 11.9 horsepower, bull-nosed cowley sports, 1926, from Trevor, side away from Calne in Wiltshire. Drove it here from Calne. Morris 8 Tourer, 1937, owned by M. Seville, from a Child's Wickham in Worcestershire. Very nice little motor car. We had one of those as a nipper, me and my friend. We give a £5 note for it. And it wasn't in bad nick, actually. This is Rolls-Royce, Barker bodied, 3/4 drop head coupe from 1927. And of course, it's owned by Terry Hayward from Bromsgrove. Well, I know what this is. This is a Mark 1 Sprite, commonly known as the Frog Eye Sprite. She's from 1959 and owned by E. Kenstone from Leominster. All A-Series Austin Morris components on those. Now this for me is the last of the real MGs. This is the MGA, quite an early MGA. 1956 this one, so I'm thinking it's probably a 1500. Yeah, it is a 1500, and it's owned by Adrian Viner from Lower Broadheath in Worcester. Last of the real MGs with a separate chassis in all those cars. Here's some midget sports. By now, of course, long MGs have been monocular. This is from 1971, so he still benefits from historic tax. And it's owned by Robert Mackay from Gloucester. Oh yeah. There's a little Wolseley Wasp Saloon from 1934. Of course, this is sort of an upmarket version of the Morris we saw go round earlier. As I said, this is from 1934, and it's owned from Mr. T. Vincent from Hereford. Lovely little Wolseley Wasp Saloon. A Crosley, not many Crosley cars left, well known for their lorries, and of course they make trams as well, I believe, or trolley buses, Crosley, but not many cars left. This is a 1530 Tourer, 1927, and Mr. Molyneux from Barrow owns this Crosley. Lovely little T-Series, this is an early one, this is a TB. Not many TVs made, because just as they started to produce them, unfortunately Hitler had other ideas and started his world tour. So this is from 1939. It's probably the rarest of all the T-Series, in fairness, and it's owned by George Cumming from Newent. Now, this is my daughter's wedding car, believe it or not. It's an Austin Mini Limo, 1970. It's run from a gentleman from Hilltop Minis, Alan Hughes from Upper Welland. You must have put all of a pint of petrol in that to get it here today. Thank you, Alan. Moving swiftly on, Rolls-Royce 4050 Silver Ghost Tourer, the famous Rolls-Royce, the Silver Ghost. 1925 this one, and it's owned by a Mr. George Simpson from Broughton Hackett. Look at that, silent, smooth power. Little nicely unrestored little 835 saloon from 1959, Cathy and Frank Russell. This is a 948. It was used until 87 when she was left in a garage untouched. Purchased by Cathy and Frank in 2003 and returned to work-worthy condition. Lovely little TR6 Sports. This will be 2.5 litre fuel injected, 140 horsepower, a big sort of hairy-chested man's sports car. But owned by a lady, who I hope doesn't have an hairy chest. Victoria Adams owns this one, and she's from Bearwood in Staffordshire. Hello, Alec, give us a kiss. Mwah! Love you, Richard. P4 105S Sports Special, made by Richard many years ago. Owned by Richard and his lovely wife, Dawn, from Winscombe. Began life as a saloon, rebodied 30 years ago with the aluminium sports body you see now. Upholstered by his wife, Dawn. Morris 10-4 Saloon, 1934. This is owned by Mr. W. Bailey. Bailey, from Malvern in Worcestershire. I'm sorry, I'm not the best reader in the world, sir. Okay, this is a rarity indeed. Not too many pre-war Vauxhalls still exist. They tended to rust away, and the gentleman won't mind me saying that. This is a 14.6 DX two-door coupe from 1936, and it's owned by Nick Chancellor from Halsowing. This cost £245 when it was new. Taken in part exchange by our father at the family garage for £10 in 1965. I'll give you a bit of profit on it if you want. Right, this is Fraser Partridge and his lovely wife here from over there in Prestatyn, well known for their collection of field marshals. This is a 12 Ascot saloon from 1934. Thank you very much. Nice to see you in the ring, Fraser. This is a Renault Type NN from 1927. Nice to see that. Very early Renault. Now we've got a Clino. Clino, I believe, were made, it says it here, made up in Wolverhampton. 4-cylinder side valve, 1437cc, 3-speed gearbox, handbrake works on all wheels. Present owner for 46 years. Fair play to you, sir. Driven 125 miles to this rally. Well done. Frank Walker from Runcorn in Cheshire. There's people that trailer them 20 mile away, and a gentleman there that's just done 125 miles. Okay, this is Sunbeam Talbot 4-litre Sports Saloon from 1939. Believed to be the only one left in the world. Good morning, Paul. How are you? This is owned by Paul Whaleby from Castle Morton in Worcestershire. Then we've got a Sunbeam Talbot again. Of course, Roots Group bought Sunbeam and they bought Talbot. Very lucky of it. I wish I'd been on holiday to Monte Carlo myself, especially the Talbot 90 drop head. Very nice indeed. Coupe 1953, and it's owned by Malcolm Champion from Bridgend. You remember, I think it was Pat Moss campaigned a lot of these Sunbeam Talbots in the 50s, rallying, Monte Carlo, stuff like that. This is a little Austin, late 20s, mid to late 20s I'm thinking, 10 horsepower I suspect, a little Phaeton there, or what would we call a Tourer, we would call it in this country. Nice to see it. I did see that one come in this morning actually. Thank you very much. Again, nicely unrestored. Austin, or restored a long time ago. Austin A40 Devon Saloon from 1950. This one is owned by Mr. Curlin from Redditch in Worcestershire. And of course this is before when Austin were on their own before they went with Morris and became the British Motor Company. 1934 10-4 this is, good buddy. Saloon, and it's owned by Mr. F.H. Greening from Alderton in Tewkesbury. Again, very nicely presented, that little motor car. Hello, Doc. I got the doc sat next to me. I know what he wants me to say. We don't want you guys getting heat exhaustion or dehydrated, so you must drink until you go to the toilet. This is 11.9 horsepower Cowley Tourer from 1930, and she is owned by Alan Perry from Hanley Swan. So that is a directive from the Chief Medical Officer of this show. You must drink until you need to go to the toilet, or you will end up dehydrated, heat stroke, whatever. Oh, this is beautiful. This is my era. This is a 1964, so he's a reasonably early one. Zodiac Saloon Mark III, owned by Mr. R. Fletcher from Ledbury in Herefordshire. Big 600 2.5 litre Ford. That car was the first Ford that would actually do 100 mile an hour. If anybody tells you a Mark II would or a Mark I, they're lying. They wouldn't. That Mark III, and it had the Mark III, and it had to be the Zodiac, not the Zephyr, was the first 100 mile an hour Ford. Automatic one as well. Well, what can I say? 1960 Cadillac. Got a 390 V8 in it, that's 6.4 litre. 3-speed turbo hydromatic gearbox, does 15 to the gallon, weighs in at 2.25 tons. It's 20 feet of sheer luxury. Electric windows, including the quarter lights, adjustable front seat, power brakes and steering. Has it got the automatic dip-in on it? No, not on that one. It hasn't got. Some Caddies had the automatic dip-in, but Cadillac in America is what Rolls-Royce is in this country. The best you can buy. Oh, it's a delightful little Hereford here. This gentleman is a regular person in the arenas that I do commentaries at. And the car this weekend has just gone over 200,000 miles. That's heading up to 250,000. Fair play, well done. 1970, this A70 this one is, and she's from 1953, and she's owned by Bill Bailey from up at Great Bar. Thank you, Bill. Well, this is a Rochdale Olympic, which was a kit car in its day, but probably one of the finest money could buy in actual fact. It's extremely light, strong and aerodynamic. I'll totally agree with that. Easily maintained running gear, and is a practical and distinctive classic. It was either sold as a complete kit with all new components, or as a basic kit for the builder to supply his own running gear. Most commonly fitted were Riley 15s, Morris 1000s, and Ford 1498, i.e. the 1500 Ford. I got a feeling some very, very early one. Sorry? 4. It's a Ford engine power in this one. I believe some of the very, very early Rochdales you could actually get with 1172 side valve engine in as well. But they were probably at the time the best of the component cars. Still very, very sharp design today, that, I think. Shame it's got the number proclaiming it's Duff, but there we go. Riley RME, the last of the coach. It's RMA, I lied. It's a shame that this was really the last real Riley. Coach built, the last of the coach built cars. This is from 1948, this particular model. They ran on until about 55, 54. I think they went out to 2 litre as well. But this is a 1500cc overhead cam engine, rack and pinion steering, which was unusual at the time. It does 25 to 30 to the gallon and has had the same owner, Mr. P. Healy, for 32 years. Well, the car I know very well, having owned 3 of these myself. It's a Nash Metropolitan. Now, it's early in this country, Nash, because they didn't allow them. They were made for Nash of America, and it was 57 before Nash allowed them to be sold in this country. So this is a very early to this country Nash Metropolitan. Its own. This would run probably a 1500cc in this one. The early ones in the States were 1200. This would run a 1500cc B-series engine, and it's owned by Mr. Rastel Hinlip, Worcester. Now, there's a strange thing on these Metropolitans. You've only got 3 gears, but you've actually got 4 in the gearbox. They actually blanked out first. You couldn't get at it. So you're basically pulling away in 2nd gear all the time. Now, this is Britain's oldest folding caravan, manufactured in Fareham, Hampshire, from 1960 through to the very early 1980s under the Ansfold name. They were marketed as 4 5-berth caravans, erected in 1 minute by 1 person and able to be towed by any car from 800cc upwards. With no wood to rot or body to rust, they have survived well to provide enthusiasts with an easy-to-tow, classically styled caravan that can easily be towed behind classic and modern cars alike. And that is a 1975 Port-a-Fold caravan. Well, I think that concludes the cars. Again, Mr. Prober has put on an absolutely excellent show for us here this morning. Always a delight commentating on the cars that come round the arena at Welland. Some of which I know a little about, obviously the very early ones I don't. So, I will ask the guys, I don't want to keep you out in the sunshine any longer than you need to, so if you want to perhaps do a lap of the arena round and then go back to your holding area. Yeah, you can lead off with the MG, don't worry, that's fine. Lovely little Wolseley Watt. Not many of those left. Very nicely presented MG midget there from about 1971. The MGA, last of the real MGs in my opinion. The Mark 1 Sprite, very, very popular motor car. Nice Rolls Royce drop head, followed by a Morris 8, little drop head. The Cowley, driven here all the way from Colne. Single cylinder Peugeot from way, way back, 1904 or something, that car. And then the one that I'm not going to even try and pronounce. Beautiful to see though. Look at all that brass and polish. The Jensen bodied A40 Sports. The Little Princess 1300, very, very well equipped little motor car. Austin 7 Sports, Sally there. That absolutely delicious little Barclay with the Royal Enfield engine in it. Barclay, of course, made at Biddleswade there up in Bedfordshire. Charlie Panther made those. To a design from Laurie Bond, the same Laurie Bond that made the three-wheeler little little micro car, you know, what was it, the Bond mini car, wasn't it? Another Rolls Royce coming round. Tourer, silent as a ghost, hence the name. My daughter's wedding car, the mini limousine, and I wasn't being tight, that's what she wanted. £140 horsepower of pure bliss, the Triumph. The Rover 105S, Richard Collier's. That very, very nicely presented Rochdale. Semaphore indicators flashing away on the Vauxhall. Fraser Partridge's Delightful Austin 6. The Renault that I apologise for not knowing too much about, from the mid-20s. The Clino, very, very rare motor car now. Driven all the way from Cheshire. More semaphore indicators on the RMA Riley. Delightful 1 year only, and the only one as far as we know left in the world. Some mean Talbot. The Talbot 90 drop head behind. Nice Devon, not too many of these left, they unfortunately got the tin worm in them. But nice car, made a lovely pickup, those Devons. We've got two lovely ladies here invaded the pitch, I wonder why. Not at all. The big Zodiac there, the big 6-cylinder Zodiac. The Caddy. I owned one of those myself. I had a 1967 Caddy many years ago. Thank you. And last but in no means whatsoever is the white coming round. Regular at this show for many, many years.